Hi, I want to answer this question from my experience helping people, my clients with emotionally eating. Right? The question they ask is, why am I emotionally eating? What is the reasons for emotional eating? So there are a couple of them, and you'll find this fascinating. I found it fascinating, and I found it really useful also for me. Right? Um, Forgive my light. The lighting in this clinic room is really bad, right? Um, you see, we are constantly um, we are constantly trying to pull a feeling towards us or push a feeling away from us, right? So we either self-soothe or distract, and that seems to be the default nature of our subconscious mind, right? So and its highest level, when we emotionally eat, really you have to look at it is it's a form of self-care, self-preservation, self-love, right? So now I want you to get really curious with yourself. I do this with my clients too, and I do it with myself too, right? The three biggest reasons why, now three, they're big, and then I'll go down a little bit more narrow, okay? Reasons that can contribute to you being emotionally eating. One is maybe nutritionally or biochemically, there's a good reason for it. You're nutritionally deficit, or biochemically there's something going off, and this is where you need to get your physician on board on this to rule out these things. Okay. Now, number two, you have a normal brain. Let me tell you something. The fact that you're emotionally eating, it is, you, like most of my clients, not every one of them, but the vast majority of them, you have a normal brain, and it is hard. You see, all our brains are hardwired to do so, right? You see, they've done plenty of MRI studies done on this. When they put someone, when somebody is not stressed, you'll see a lot more blood flow going to the prefrontal cortex, for example. This is the higher level thinking here, right? Decision making, understands consequences. You can plan for the future. It really higher level thinking is right here. There's more blood flow there. But when you put the person under stress, emotional stress, physical stress, um, intellectual stress, right? They'll notice that there's a less more activity or blood flow going towards here, and it's going towards your limbic system, your primitive part of your brain, the reptilian brain, right? The limbic system. So this is where, like, the amygdala, I'm drawing a blank right now of the other parts of it there. There's more activity there. So you see, we have two different neural pathways. When we are stressed, boom, it goes in that, more blood flow goes to that area. So what does that mean then, right? So that means stop. I want you to stop belittling yourself. Stop putting yourself down. You're hardwired that way. But here's the thing. There are many, many roads to Philadelphia. Would you agree? I mean, I live in Pennsylvania, up in the suburbs in Chester County, right? But 45 minutes away from Philadelphia. And I'm going to tell you, there's more than one road to get to Philly. The same way, there are many neural pathways to help us get where we want to. You can forge a new way to get to being a more healthy response. You see, when we are emotionally eating, that's the third part of it, is your lower brain, your primitive brain, has full control of it. Now, we don't want it to have full control of it. You want to have a proper balance, right? And the thing is, you don't know then how to handle the emotions. Now, emotional eating, in essence, is there's an uncomfortable thought, feeling, and the response is to self-soothe or distract. just to bring the intensity level down, but it never solves the problem, right? So, and food is inherently rewarding. There is nothing other than drugs, right? Food is the fastest way to create a state change, to make us feel differently very fast, right? So let me go over more specific on what my clients have. And I want you to see, get curious, and I want you to take time. Just sit with it, guys. And if you really think about it, when you catch yourself emotionally eating, it may almost feel like it is a life or death situation, like you have to do it. You have to gorge yourself. The answer is no. It is your primitive brain thinking you need it for your survival. It is not true. But let me go through the real hardcore contributing reasons. Obviously, stress, as we talked about it, right? To overcome emotional eating, right, caused by stress, stress is a big one, right? Intellectually, emotionally, even physical pressure, tension, right, on us. The other one is anxiety, can cause feelings of unease and discomfort, which may lead to a lot of emotional eating, right? So this is where the protocols I use can help you. And I'm sure your therapist is also helping you with this, and your physician. Most of my clients have seen therapists and their physician, and then they are referred to me, right? Boredom. Boredom is a huge one that causes mindless eating and snacking, right? Loneliness, sadness, surprisingly, even positive emotions, like overwhelming positive emotion. You just sometimes feels overwhelmed, and you just want to go back to a feeling of what is familiar to you, okay? Fatigue. Here's a huge one. A lot of my clients, right, they go to bed closer to midnight, and and they wake up. They're getting about 5-6 hours sleep only, and that is fundamentally not enough. Our brain is a energy hog. It consumes about 20% of the calories that we eat. It uses a lot of energy, and when you are tired, it's going to demand you. Instead of going to sleep, you're scrolling around on TikTok or whatever, on the internet, or doing whatever. You have work to do, okay, right? Your brain says, listen, you want me to help you out further here? Feed me. So that's normal also, okay? Social situations, obviously, right? At parties, get together, family traditions, right? Hanging around the kitchen, that would do it. Environmental cues, right? There are certain triggers, like sitting in front of a TV or having your phone next to you when you're eating, right? Or there's a couch where you normally go sit and gel out, and then you eat the food, right? Negative body image can lead to emotional eating as a way to cope with the feeling of shame and self-disgust, right? And I have clients that we use hypnosis and all the other protocols to help them neutralize it and manage it and just burst through it and become the person they want. If you are on a diet or you're restricting your food already, it can really lead to emotional eating. If you are not feeling full, if it's not a balanced diet, you're too restrictive, this is one of the consequences of it. All right. Emotional trauma, abuse, neglect, all can lead to emotional eating as a way to cope with the overwhelming feelings. It just comes. It'll come as waves, right? And we have to address it. And the program that I have will give you some tools that are phenomenal, okay? Low self-esteem can lead to emotional eating as a way to cope with the feeling of worthlessness and self-doubt, right? Procrastination, feeling overwhelmed, loneliness, not being heard or understood. You're just upset. You're angry, right? People pleasers, overdoers, when you feel unmotivated, like a blah feeling also. The clock, just something about the clock that says, hey, this is time for you to eat. Even though you're not really hungry, you've been conditioned to it. Our lower brain, our primitive brain, right, is responsible for the emotional eating and also habits, right? When you ruminate and catastrophize, right? And here's the other part of it, right? When we feel there's a challenge coming up, or a small inconvenience that you're going to undergo, just thinking about it, and you mentally rehearsing it, or just thinking about it, and you're not framing it in the right context, will make you feel uncomfortable, and your lower brain is going to make you go and eat something so you can change how you feel. Our subconscious always wants you to feel safe, happy, pleasurable, or neutral. If anything makes you feel uncomfortable or it's threatening your survival in some form, it doesn't necessarily have to be life or death. Its reflex, its default nature is to make you feel this way. So once again, guys, it is you got to understand this. Your brain might be normal. It's just that you just haven't developed the skill set, right? Or neurologically you've created a habit of responding to life and these emotions in this certain way. But you can change that way. It's called neuroplasticity, right? Now, so with hypnosis, how we address this, we go in on a deeper level and change the programming, how you think about it, how you view yourself, right? There are distortions that we think about when it comes to our life, our self-image, what we think we can do. And also there is some ideas, some thoughts inside your subconscious that you are unconsciously acting on. You can change that. We bring it to the light and you question it and say, does this serve me or not? And if you don't like it, we can change it. You're going to change it. It is easy. Read a lot of my reviews. They'll give you an idea how I operate. I offer a free consultation that explains my program in a little bit more detail, right? And I want to say this to you. There is 365 days in a year. If you're willing to invest 2 or 3 days, and each day it's going to be maybe about 1.5 to 2 hours long, our sessions, which I customize it to you, because it's not a one size fits everybody. It has to be catered to you. If you're open to that, right, reach out to me. You can change your life, guys. I'm seriously telling you, you can change this. It is a skill set. Whatever job you have right now, whatever you do for a living right now, you were not born doing it. You had to learn it the same way you learn how to drive a car, right? All these things are skills. We are constantly changing. We learn one thing and we put something else down. When it no longer serves us, once it clicks on a subconscious level, mamma mia, you'll be humbled by how you can change your life, improve it. All right? Cheers. I'm looking forward to hearing from you.